Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Jubilife City Jukebox. My name is Reese, you may also know me as Ronk, and this is a show where we talk to your favorite content creators about their favorite Pokemon music. Today we've got a very special guest. You may know them from your YouTube channel, which has nearly 100,000 subscribers. You may know them from reminding you about aspects of the Pokemon games you probably forgot, or you may know them from checking every trash can in the Pokemon series. My friend Droomish, welcome.
Hi. Hey, Ronk.
How you doing?
Ronk fame. I'm fantastic.
You may know me from being Ronk. So the first thing I usually ask a lot of the guests that come on the show, do you have any sort of like background in music, whether it be like from school or, you know, recreationally?
I do. I've played my my alto sax since I was in elementary school, and I've been in school band for a long time, and I did there was like a state thing, and now I kind of just, I guess, dabble, but the community band is always nice to go to. So, never like, I've always wanted to make music, but I've never been there. I'm a pretty good improviser though, so I like jazz a lot.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think jazz meshes well with a lot of the Pokemon music. I feel like most of the composers and arrangers have that background. And so, moving on from that, like, how did you get into Pokemon? Like, what was your first kind of foray into the series?
I think I saw somebody with cards from the EX, is like EX Deoxys or something was the set, and they had them at it was like one of those play places at a Chick-fil-A, and they're just showing them to me, and I thought it was real cool. I don't remember which one of them it was, but it was one of those cards that it was like, the picture was like claymation, and I think her name is Yuka Mori, is the artist that does those. He had one of those in particular, and it just really struck me. Is why I remember so specifically, and I've always loved those. And I told my mom about it, and she knew, and then we got Ruby relatively soon after that. I enjoyed the cards for a little bit until it was Ruby time. So I think, yeah, I was just short of Gen 2 in the end. Oh, I must have not. Well, I don't know. The timeline's hazy. I just remember, the Gen 3 Game Boy, I saw the cards. It was amazing. Changed my life.
Yeah. I really miss that old style of cards. Like, I know the new cards are, they're gorgeous and all that, but I don't know, something about that Gen 3 and Gen 4 style, particularly like those clay model cards. Something about them, man. They're so pretty.
I like I'm very into the Delta species right now. Do you remember that? Do you remember those?
I do. I think I have a fake Delta species Rayquaza. I think it's fake. I unless it's just in really bad shape, but I'm pretty sure it's fake.
I mean, she's still like, I've seen, she still has cards. I don't know. They do so much, like, I think they do so. Well, what I think it is for me, I know this to be the fact, is just that they do so much computer modeling now. Is like, especially well, it's a lot better, honestly. Now I've seen some really beautiful stuff, but like a lot of like, they were like special cards in like Gen 7 and Gen 8 were like, you see like the illustrator is like it's like a modeling company. It's like called like CG illustration or something,
right?
Something like that, where it's like, it's not like person, and they look good, but it's like, it's very much a render sometimes rather than like a scene. And
yeah,
I mean, they just couldn't have done that at like before a certain point. So like that like was a hard requirement. Not that like old thing good, new thing bad necessarily. I'm not.
That's the Pokemon way. The one I grew up with is the best one.
Well, it's, yeah. People say that, and it's like, well, I love Gen 6, and that was when I was in high school. It changed my life. But I just got the other day. It was like a Suicune from like one of the newest. I think it was called like Galarian Gallery or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I heard of that.
And it's like Suicune looking out at the aurora, and I was like I had to have it. It was insistent that my friend trade me this card, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. The old is new again. This is beautiful. Life is good.
Yeah, there are a lot of really great new ones. I hadn't bought cards since like Gen 5, but when I saw that full art Spiritomb from however many packs back, I was like, okay, I'll buy the cards again. I guess if you
with
insist.
the girl. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes.
Yes, I love that
Yeah,
card.
that's
I really
awesome.
do. And so, from Pokemon, obviously, you've got a very successful and very great channel. If you ask me, you're one of my favorite
Thanks.
content creators. It's nice
I'm
to
so
have you
glad.
here. But how did you end up kind of like blending those two things? How did you get into content creation?
Well, I think not that it happened in that moment, but I mean, I was very into the games, just 3, 4, and 5 on my Game Boy. Or yeah, I guess on my Game Boy and DS. The Game Boy came a little bit later. It was always in the bottom slot of the DS.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
really something changed for me pretty majorly when I got Y. And I don't know, it was almost like it wasn't just a game anymore when I started playing Y. Like I started, and maybe I think it was just a part of it was where I was in life. I like started like noticing the outfits more, which is like that's an obvious side effect of X and Y, but like I was like
Mm-hmm.
intent on the outfits, and I was like rollerblading as like its own sport, and trying to there was a berry breeding mini game that was like relatively convoluted. There was like a crossbreed tree that you had to make to get berries
Mm-hmm.
that you could only get through this convoluted system. And I just really got into these extracurriculars. And I guess, I mean, it had been there before. I watched the TV show every now and then, but like I was feeling it, I was playing it, wow, this is really a world. This really could be a world. There's so much here that makes you feel, and I feel like I'm feeling for the first time in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like what a brand new like outlook I have because of these games. And so like something that I wanted to like hear about and talk more, because like I was thinking about it. Like I had just finished, like I was trying to collect every TM in
Mm-hmm.
Y for whatever reason. It's just another thing I was doing because it's like, oh, let's just look, let's just explore more.
Right. Right.
I wanted to, specifically after that point, I was like, okay, I want to go watch, like I want to hear people talk about and discuss the clothing. I'm really taken by the clothing because now that I'm done with the TMs, I'm like just out of something to do, I'm going around and buying every article of clothing at every shop,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really exciting. Like I can't believe how many ways this character can look. That's never been done before, and it's like it's magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it didn't exist, but like I went and looked for like, I mean, I think essentially it was like I was like looking for the videos that I would come to make. I was like, let's see some discussion and analysis on X and Y clothing. That's gonna be big.
Right.
And
Right.
I mean, I think at the time, and I mean, this was like partially, I think this was partially a fault of like the capture technology available at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
like by and large majority like content coming out of X and Y, like on YouTube or Twitch, was like either just like your let's play, or some shade of competitive or shiny hunting. And
Right.
that was a very like front, I mean, I call it the majority, because I don't know, maybe that stuff did exist and I couldn't find it, but it was just like there was a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it bummed me out a little bit. I was pretty disappointed to not find, like, I don't know, somebody being like, or like, I don't know, like a dedicated think piece on like, it's revolutionary that you can wear clothes in Pokemon now.
Right.
And
Right.
I was, I don't know, I guess maybe not exactly disappointed, but I was just like, I'm confused. Where's the thing that I want to watch? There's always the thing I want to watch is always here. That's so interesting.
Right.
And then a few years later, I started streaming and just, I don't know, mostly messing around on there. But I, at a certain point, started feeling like I wasn't really going anywhere. And I came back to that thought of like, what is the thing that I want to see? Like if I like want to create, I mean, I'm, of course, just I don't want to give bad advice. If you just want to make things, please. But like it had been like 3 years of just like really just fooling around on Twitch, and I thought, like, I was like, I really like this. Something needs to come of this for my own sake, and like, what do I want to make?
Mm-hmm.
And think one of the first things I made was like an analysis on like shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet. But I thought, and I was very, it wasn't very well done, but I was very pleased with myself because like I like thought I had a very, for the time, revolutionary analysis on like, well, this like costs real world time, and I want you to think about how time intersects with your shiny hunting, and like when you play a game, like the cost benefit analysis of autopiloting for you as a person, not in the game, like it's
Mhm.
not about the odds. It's kind of comes down to what you do as a player. Like, isn't that interesting? And
Right.
so, I've been there ever since, I guess, is the long and short of it. These human connections that we have and the feelings that respond are, I think, what drives me and what ultimately made me start doing this. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah, it like you've touched on a lot of points that I feel like we talked about in the last few episodes, like especially with shiny hunting, like exactly what you said. It's not about what you do in the game because it's just constantly the same thing. It's like all this for like for such a weird niche hobby, it's about what you do on the outside. It's about touching grass is what the things you remember with like shiny hunting.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I totally agree with that sentiment. I think it's real neat. And I also just like one of my favorite things about your channel is, me being now older and coming back to Pokemon, because I kind of took a break around Gen 6 and 7 and I came back around 8. And I'm finding that to get like more enjoyment out of playing Platinum, which I've played 20 times, probably over that, probably 40 times, is like just picking out the little things. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because like these games, they're so lovingly made and there's so many cool things in there that you probably just like you skip over because as a kid, Pokemon players don't read. You spam A and you catch the legendary and then you're done. But yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things about your channel is picking apart like the little things you probably forgot because we all spammed A and the game was over and then you shelved it. But yeah, it's neat to see kind of how that came into be for you. That's very cool.
Yeah, what is stun spore? That doesn't do damage.
Exactly. You don't use those moves. It doesn't do damage. It's not a good one. All right. So today I have asked you to bring six songs from the Pokemon the Pokemon series rather. And I've got them all here. I've given them all a listen and they're all wonderful. So we can just get started. What's the first one you've brought today?
Well, I don't know. They're all so good. As far as which one comes first, I think I would like to discuss the Neo City theme first and foremost.
So yes, Neo City from Pokken Tournament, a game which I have not played. So this song was brand new to me. Composed by Hiroki Hashimoto and a bunch of other various composers. It looks like a lot of people worked on it. So what's the reason you chose this one? Why'd you bring this one today?
Well, I wanted to look like wide and far from the description that you showed me, and I wanted to find my faraway favorites, so to speak. And I think this is one of the best. I don't know. It's certainly up there. I mean, it's in my top 6. It's like one of the best tone-setting songs I can think of in the wider Pokemon world, as far as like. I don't know, I guess like onboarding you into like where your head should be and like what it should feel like to do the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's like upbeat and easy to listen to. I think it's fantastic.
It's like I said, it's new to me, so I had never listened to it, and like I knew about Pokken Tournament and I probably have heard like an odd song here or there. I was surprised at how there's a lot of great spin-off Pokemon games that have music that doesn't sound like Pokemon. It sounds like it could be its own music. Like you could hear this out of context and assume it's anything but Pokemon. I was amazed at how sounds or how similar it sounds to like 2010s pop and techno. Like your Calvin Harris, your David Guetta, like that would have fit in there perfectly. It came out 7-8 years later, but it was like it fits in just so nicely. It's such a neat song.
And like there's I don't know it couldn't possibly be intentional. Well, maybe it is because it happens every time, but like there's like as the song ramps up when you're in game, and this was like the demo stage, this was the like it's the I don't know, like this is your like level 1 that you fight on in Pokken Tournament.
Okay.
So you're like this is your home base. I think it's like you have like 2 stages. There's like Farm and Neo City, and that's like the city of Pokemon battles where they have the Pokemon Tekken fighting tournament, and it's awesome. And like I think it is really, I mean, obviously it's really important that you play it, I guess, to get a like, because aesthetically it is almost, I don't know, not completely contrary to Pokemon, but like the characters look so different, and there's like it's not even like brutal, but it's like it's sharp almost. Like Lucario has like in the opening cutscene, Lucario has like borderline like killing intent while he's fighting Pikachu, and they're not just staring each other down, they're staring daggers, and it's like it's sharp, and the pop really works for the combat that they're about to get into. At least I think so. And it's like a lively happening city, and it like ramps up. The thing that I was talking about is like it ramps up as the Pokemon get thrown out, and it's almost like the stakes are elevating as the Pokemon come out of like, oh, like Lucario's pissed, and Blaziken's pissed, and now they're jumping into it to get into a real throwdown. And I think it's just like, I don't know, I mean it's almost like inoffensive in a way, I mean, honestly is part of why I like it, because it fits right in the background of like a real back and forth. I guess if you just like knock somebody down, like it's a complete bulldoze, then like who cares? But like the music's like, I don't know, almost like the adversarialness that is inside of that poppiness, like I think it's perfect for like a back and forth. And this is like actual combat in this game also, like there's like, since there's no turns, there's like actual like highs and lows in the combat, and you can mega evolve, you can send out your little buddies, you can really go blow for blow with someone. And so it just sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like to me mentally the song kind of sounds like a chicken fight happening, like 2 people like bumping into each other in their cars as they like drive closer and closer to the cliff to see who's gonna win in the end. And oh man, it's fantastic for just like setting that pace of what the game is, because it's one of the first things you hear also after you like you play you might stick around for the opening cutscene, which is like I think sort of like orchestral and like gets you excited for a new game. I think that's pretty standard with Pokemon. And there's like a world map theme right afterwards. But if you jump right into a game, this might be the first thing that you hear, and it's like this is kind of like the tone for the whole game. Like it's still Pokemon, but I think just like a free arena instead of turns. It's like there's energy here. There's a lot of and not like, I don't know, not that it's not normally energetic, but there's like energy in your hands. Like you're in an arena and you can like move around in free space, and you're gonna get hit by like, I don't know, like Lucario's crazy laser beam or Scissor's like giant metal gears unless you do something immediately. So it's pretty adrenaline filled music for right at the beginning, so I like it a lot.
Yeah, like you said, like with spin-offs are always so different. Like a lot of spin-offs, you know, maybe Mystery Dungeon and Ranger particularly kind of fit in with the general Pokemon vibe, but Pokemon Tournament's like such a weird departure. And I think you're completely right. It does such a good job of putting you in that headspace. It's like, oh, this ain't your mama's Pokemon game, all right? There's no sprites here. These are 3D models, and
exactly.
You're fighting in the middle of a city, and
it's like oddly human. Also, like, have you like? I'm sure you've noticed that you can like see the hairs on these models. Like Suicune has like a borderline human face, kind of like it's very human. Like we got photorealistic Chandelure happening. Like
yeah, exactly. Another part I really liked of that song is like in the middle there's this like funk interlude. There's like slap bass and there's like record scratching.
Oh yeah,
I really like that. That's neat. I think it's a good it's like ear candy in between like the kind of like the ramped up parts. But yeah, it's a very neat song to listen to for the first time. I really like that one.
It's also it's perfect city vibes, I think. Like, independent of all of this, it's like, and I mean, you don't really get a chance for this when you're playing, but like, if you look, there's people trying to go to work in the background. It's like, there's just the best part of like, it's like, it really is like a busy happening street. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think there's that classic Tumblr post. It's like, imagine trying to go to work, but the road's shut down because a giant chicken and a chandelier are fighting in the intersection.
And this is what it would sound like. I think they nailed it in that
You're right.
regard.
You're right. That is what it would sound like. All right, we've got our first one down. A great choice. What's the next one you got for me?
I think, let's say the beautiful Sevi Islands. Is that specifically what it's called?
Yes. The Sevi Islands from Fire and Leaf Green.
Is it just called that? Is it the actual title? Because it's like,
yeah, there's multiple versions. There's like Sevi Islands, which is the one I went over, but then there's like Sevi Islands, like Islands 4 and 5 or whatever, or Islands 6 and 8 or whatever. But there's one specific track called Sevi Islands, yeah, from Fire Leaf Green. It was composed by Junichi Masuda, arranged by Goichi Noze. So we got the two goats on this one. Wow, yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little remake of Route 42 from Johto in the glorious Fire Leaf Green sound font.
It is just fantastic. I think, is it my favorite song in Pokemon of all time? This one really might be what takes the cake for me. I think it's so... Okay. So, I mean, like, it was already great, and this is a remix. Like, I don't want to not give flowers to Gold and Silver and Route 42, of course. But what I think the Fire and Leaf Green version does, and what that sound font does for this song that is so fantastic and game-changing, is, like, the sort of... I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm not very good with the music words, but I know, like... I know the feeling, unfortunately, which doesn't really help anyone but me. But it almost sounds like kind of wider and more booming. Like, I don't know, it's like it's coming, I don't know, it's not actually bassier in any regards, but like it kind of sounds like the notes that hang in this song, I feel like they hang longer. And like there's almost like a triumphantness that comes with that.
I was in my notes. I don't know if it's the word you're looking for, but in my notes, I specifically have the word bombastic. Like every instrument's like giving it their all, even though they're MIDI. They're not real instruments, but you can feel that. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
It is. It's so bombastic, and like this, and Route 42 is fine, but the place where this plays primarily in game, which is why I was curious about it being just called Sevi Islands, is because like I associate this very heavily with Seven Islands specifically. Like this is I'm surprised it's not called like the Save Canyon theme, but I guess it plays in a couple of other places, maybe one other place.
I think so. I don't know Sevi Islands that well personally, but I think it does play. It must play in a few, otherwise it would just be named that. Yeah.
But I associate it really heavily with Save Canyon specifically. I'm sure it's lovely wherever else it plays, but because it is like, for one, it is like, I don't know, the one of the peaks of adventure in my like Pokemon perspective, because it's so rough, it's so wild feeling, and I don't think it like they don't tell you it's like, oh, like this is the wilds. Like for Gen 3 and like their pixel set, I'm like still to this day blown away just because of like, I don't know, with such a limited resources, like how rugged of a place the canyon ends up being. There's so much there's so much up and down to it, and there's these like very rough looking terrain patches, and there's kind of like cratery areas and just like big fields of green, and there's like a winding path at the end that almost looks like it was like had to be like cut through in a certain regard. And the music just goes perfectly with this, because it's like there's even just like this like tiniest touch of like just a drop, a teenth of forlorn in this, of like you're looking back on your adventure of like what we've seen in this beautiful, wonderful world. I can't get enough of that feeling specifically. maybe it is good also that it's just called the Sevi Islands, because it's like, I think it is reflective of the Sevi Islands as a whole. It's so adventurous, it's so compelling, and this song, like, it feels like a bombastic journey through the wilderness, through the wilds, and it's just so good. I
It is.
It's so good.
I think the Fire Leaf Green sound font does like wonders for it. You know, like, not that you don't get the same vibes from Gold, Silver, Crystal, or even, you know, Heart Gold, Soul Silver later on, but it's something about like the I have another thing in my notes here is the Fire and Leaf Green drum pack. That snare has like so much reverb on it. That's like all you hear is that super loud snare, and I think that plays along with it. But yeah, the only other note I have is exactly what you said. It's just the word adventure. Like, I think that's what it, you know, embodies, especially with the sound font and where it plays. It's a great song. I really like that one.
It is just so adventurous. I wish I had more to call it than that, but it's like, I don't know, maybe almost like it's borderline gritty even.
Mm-hmm.
The like I kind of feel like it's like a walking stick song almost. Like, I'm there. It puts you there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, it's not the gameplay, it's like what it looks like when this song plays, because it's like, I don't know how like this experience works for other people, but it's like, that sounds like what it feels like that sounds like what it looks like to me right now. Like, I imagine a certain thing, like visually and like auditorially, that are like, I don't know, almost like yin yang connected in a way that is so difficult to describe, but like, it looks like how it would sound. I can't get over that. I can't get over, like, it's like, oh, like Route 42 was such a perfect pick, and then everything you said about like the bombastiness and the snares and just the Fire Red Leaf Green sound font is like, I don't know, it almost, and I don't assume that this would be the case, but it's like they had the song and they were like, can we make Route 42 better? Like, can we make a place that is even more awesome than that in terms of like the rugged journey that you could experience as a trainer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pokemon's always been so good at that. I don't know if it's you know, a bias of like, well, of course it's what it sounds like because you heard it, you know, when you played through that. But I guarantee they're just that good at it. It's not that bias that you heard the song when you're playing through it. It's just that they're so good at putting those like perfect arrangements in where they need to be. You know, whether it be a city or a route or some island, you know.
It's very like, it's almost gentle in a way. Like, very rarely, even if I don't like a song, like my next thought is, if I don't like a song, and like, you know, sometimes I'll just like flip through a soundtrack Pokemon game, and it's like, well, okay, well, I didn't love that. That didn't move me or anything, but it's like, you know, I go to the place and I'm like, well, in their defense, it sounds like that.
It sounds like that place. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And which is like, I don't know, is it almost like, did I actually like it in a way that I couldn't even understand? That's maybe just, I don't know, maybe I just shouldn't live in that town when I go to the Hoenn region or whatever, but that's what always gets me. That's what always gets me. Even when I don't care for it particularly myself, I will always have to give them their flowers for the meshing of the visual with the audio.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got 2 down. What's the third one you've brought for us today?
Oh, these are so good. I mean, I like them, but I'm like looking back at my own list, I'm like, wow, these are really good songs. Who picked them?
Man, I cooked here.
Let's go with the Ryder Willy theme from Pokemon XD, a classic.
A classic, composed by Tsukasa Tawada, and is just the normal battle theme from Colosseum. Why'd you bring this one?
Well, it's, again, for a similar reason to Neo City. I mean, I love these like stage setting songs, for one, and in XD, And I mean, you fight this guy, Ryder Willie. Well, I guess I don't know. I'm getting my stuff mixed up. In Colosseum, or it is in Colosseum, but like, or I don't know. You fight this guy at the very beginning of the game in Colosseum, and you do fight him again in XD. But there's like the story gets moved around and stuff. But so I guess this is only part of the benefit of this song, but it's one of the first things that you hear. And up until this point, in Colosseum especially, like Colosseum, kind of a gritty game. Like it's sort of darker than most on the Pokemon spectrum. And up until this point, you're playing for like 5 minutes. You see the main character who you're controlling, this kind of like cloaked robot arm Umbreon Espeon guy and his robot bike. And he just performed like a raid on this bad guy-ish looking team in the very dry desert. And you go to this like run-down like train car that's stuck in the desert that's like a diner. And on your way out, this guy with pink hair who kind of looks like, I don't know, he looks kind of cowboy-ish. I mean, like, it makes sense that they call him a rider. Not that a rider is, like, specifically anything in this world, but, like, he looks ready to go. He's got boots on, he's got his hair kind of spiked up, hanging out behind him, a little Sonic-y with his hair, and I don't know, he looks like the kind of guy to, like, put, like one of those pieces of wheat in his mouth and, like, put it under his lip and just let it hang there, like a real cool guy. You fight him, and then this, like, I don't know. I mean, how do words even? It for one, it takes you off guard, like given this world, and like because it really just there might be like the tiniest bit of like of build up to it, but then like when I guess what is the instrumental equivalent of the chorus hits, and there's that like I think it's a bass. It sounds to me like a bass, but like the that is like it's more than just like the stage setting thing in Pokken, because like that's like I don't know, there's so much like I don't know, there's like a lot surrounding it, I suppose, but this is such a surprise. Like I sit there and listen to the whole song every time I start this game, because it's like surprise, like Pokemon is awesome and this game is about to be amazing, and you're playing like it's on the TV now, like
exactly, like
just get ready for the wildest ride of your life, and Ryder Willie is here to deliver on that. And like it doesn't just sound triumphant either. Like I think that this song is like almost like evocative of like I don't know, loving life, of like you didn't just win. It's like this song doesn't just feel like winning to me. It's almost like, oh my god, I can breathe type songs. Like it's so happy.
We talked about this one with Haunted last episode, actually. I just one thing I wanted to touch on, specifically about like the grittiness of Colosseum and XD. There was an interview with like Tsukasa Tawada, and who specifically said like he loved arranging and composing for this game because it was like darker than the rest of the series. But like he obviously still knows what he's doing with something like this. But what I said like last episode and what we kind of agreed on is it's like low stakes, like fun music. Like it's not a battle where, you know, you're not battling for your life. It's like, you know, it's fun. It's a Pokemon battle, and in this world that's just normal, and you're just kind of, you're chilling with this guy, you know? There's this like this unwritten camaraderie between you where you're going to have your battle. Yeah, it's super fun music. That MIDI guitar as well, and like when the strings come in, like it's great. It's such a fun song.
It's so wonderful. Oh my gosh, what a You're so right. I mean, it is just fun is such a big part of it, of just like I don't know, almost like a movie-esque in that way of like cue the having fun with your friends music. Like throw that on real quick, because this one would work. And they have this pose in and I'm gonna try to explain it as best as possible, but like the riders, especially in XD and Colosseum, they like stand like they're like weathering a windstorm. And it's like I guess it's like one leg sort of knee sort of bent in front, the other leg a little bit straighter in the back, and they're kind of like I don't know, standing like their arms are like kind of out like Lugia's wings, sort of, and it's almost like wind is blowing against them, and so like I guess it's not the wind is behind us, but like you're like it looks like they're like staring up against a mighty wind, and this song is like, I don't know, I've always associated that thing, and then it's like an action hero type song of like, again, it's like this song looks like how you look right now, like how cool is that? And you look so cool, Willie. You look so cool right now. Like, you deserve to be playing this song while you battle.
Yeah, I forgot about Willie, but like looking back at him now, like what a great way to kind of get you into the game. You know what I mean? Like he's such an interesting character. He's got, like you said, he's got like his cowboy jacket on, this nice like country western like vest almost.
Big pink hair also. I like that.
He's great. But yeah, I think I've always saw it as like obviously a lot of Coliseum and XD later on take place like in, dungeons or whatever, but the Ore region is so prevalent for like just being a desert. So I always assumed it was like a sandstorm kind of thing. Like everyone's like you said, they're like posted up against like the wind or like against the sand. Cause like you'd have to assume during a battle, probably sand is flying all over the place,
Oh yeah, I mean it's sandy out there. Like they're in the desert. They're outside of the little train station, but it's still the desert, and like I feel like there is like some windy texture effects flying around them. The nothing pairs better with it also than I think like the actual like VFX of the battle. So it's like this could be anything, but as your first battle, like presumably you have never. Well, I guess you could have, but like, I don't think the Stadium or Stadium 2 battles or anything like this. Those are very much like a sports game, kind of. Like I see like Stadium 2 especially as like, I don't know, almost like closer to, I feel like this is weird, but it's like almost closer to like what you see in Pokken, where it's like very much a battle kind of. But this, and the way that the camera cranes around in Coliseum and XD, and like they're standing, I don't know, it's almost like, again, I think it's like there's like movie qualities to it, where it's like this is a standoff. Like there's more at the same time. There is both more and less at stake here than a battle, and like it's that portrayal is very dramatic. And for this just to be like it could work with anything, but it's like for this to be the first thing you hear in battle, and it's like I've never seen anything in my life like this before. It was the first time that like I experienced this. I think it was like the same effectiveness of like a good tech demo for like the concept of Coliseum XD, and it like made me think, is like I think I was like 10 or 11 at this point, of like, wow, this concept, like the Pokemon on the TV, this works. You got me. Like you can make it sound like this, you can make it view like this, and everything is looking up from here. This is what I wanted. So I don't know, it almost feels like an act of good faith from I guess that composer, that it's like, oh, we put this on the very first battle, and like strap in. And I did. I was very, very excited. What a wonderful first thing to hear after like the opening of like, oh my goodness, is this gonna be like gritty Pokemon? But it's like it is, but also like get ready for the adventure of your life also.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, like I feel like I've already said, everything I could say both this episode and last one, but it's a great song. I feel like it'll keep coming up because it's got that special quality. It really does. Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. Thanks again to Droomish for joining me on the podcast. Make sure you go check out his Twitch and of course his YouTube, and we can hopefully get him to 100K. This is just a reminder that if you like the podcast, you can head on over to patreon.com/wrong475, where you can get the video version of the podcast, an extended ad-free version of each podcast, as well as access to all my YouTube videos early, a patron role in the Discord, and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. So if you like all that, make sure you head over to patreon.com/wrong475, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. All right, we're halfway through. We've got 3 more here. What's the next one you got?
Oh man, it's so hard to pick. Okay, let's go with the sealed chamber from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Oh, I was so excited to see this. I think this would make my top 6. A classic composed again by Go Ichinose. I mean, the guy he can't write a bad song. He just writes bangers. But before I start gushing about it, what's the reason you brought this one?
I think it's one of the most atmospheric outings that they have ever delivered. It is so embodying of the, not just mystery, but like I need better words for this because these do mean very different things, but it's like the holistic concept of the unknown in the Pokemon world, and not the Pokemon, but just like the questions that are yet to be answered. And like, also I think there's kind of like maybe not exactly like foreboding nature of it, but like as you come to understand the reason why you're in this place that the music is playing, and like further lore following up on it, I think there's actually like a song that has like gotten more meaning as like the Pokemon world has been continued to develop. Because like I heard this song for the first time and Regigigas didn't exist, and I know that Regigigas exists and there's like more story involving Regigigas now that makes this song in hindsight even better. Just that's like borderline unbelievable to me, and I feel like sounds ridiculous saying it, but like the song kind of highlights like how big and unknown of a world this is. That there's so much that happened in the past that you couldn't possibly be privy to, and there are things that you are going to discover sooner and later that are like, I don't know, the big mysteries and questions. This song is like bellowing, and it's perfect for the cave that I think you first get to hear it in, of I don't know, like you're gazing upon the world's secrets in this small way. Something like, it's like you're the first person to step foot here in ages, and it explains so much. Like those rock formations in the three places at the desert, in the kind of, I don't know, like the pine foresty area and the beach. It all makes so much sense now. Like it begins to unravel. It's like an unraveling song.
It's one of those things, like 2 points that you hit on the head, the same notes that I had. Like one is like the foreboding you mentioned. Like one of my notes is this feeling of finding something you like weren't supposed to find. It doesn't feel like something you were pushed towards. It's like you found it and you're like, okay, am I like supposed to be here? But yeah, it really, like you said, it embodies this mystery of like Hoenn as a region. Like you could play the whole game and not run into this. You would just never know.
Totally.
And like going into that is like, you know, the whole Reggie puzzle, which is absurd. You would assume a 10-year-old would figure this out, but you know, I digress. Like
Thank you, Game Facts.
Yeah, I don't feel like we've ever really gotten a puzzle as interesting as this. And it doesn't mean that it's not interesting because the puzzle was hard or because I had to learn Braille, but like you said, like it just perfectly unravels. It makes sense as you go through each step. It's like, oh, okay, I can read the Braille now thanks to this one piece of paper in the game box, I guess, if you played it back then. And then, you know, you start reading it and it explains this like mysterious, like, oh, we built these things and we sealed it away, and you know, it's telling you what to do and you have to go to these different places. And it's just such a special song. I never will understand, like even as a musician, I'll never understand how they just do such a good job of like bottling these emotions. But like even the name, like Sealed Chamber, it could have been anything, but like it's so evocative. Like you hear it and you're like, okay, like I get it. It makes sense. True. I hear it. It's I don't know, man. It's such a good song. It's so neat.
And I don't want to cheat, I guess, but like I don't know, something that was an honorable mention, but like for the exact same reason was because you said like, oh, when have they ever done anything like this? And like I don't know, I agree to a certain extent, but like I thought this feeling was in a bottle again with the I don't even know what to call them, the treasure, or the ruined treasures or whatever in Scarlet and Violet, with the doors and the stakes. But the big moment, and I mean there's just saying there's some similarities, but it's like the big moment for me with that was also when the music played, when they jump out of the door and the music starts playing, and it's like this like extremely atmospheric medley that is like evocative of like the bizarre almost. It's like that's the moment. That's the moment that captures it all. And the same thing is true here is like, I mean, you eventually go into the legendary battle. I think that you probably uses the legendary theme. I don't know that for sure when you actually fight the Reggies, but like the sealed chamber, as it were, is like, that's the moment. That's the moment. And because like it has stuck because of the music, to me at least, is like, that is the touch point, is like when you hear that music for the first time and it's like this, that ends up being what it is because the music is so fantastic and like descriptive of the current feeling.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, like I can't really put it into words. Like again, like I said, like you could go hundreds of hours playing this game and not find it. But it's just something about like the fact that they added this whole mystery underneath the game. It's not like it's something out in the open. But like, I don't know, like it just doesn't feel like there could be any other song to fit this like specific, this very niche situation. But I don't know. Goichi knows they just did it.
It's very much, I feel like you were speaking to this, but it's like you can go without finding it of, and I think something that like really captured it when I was young, even with the guide, because like, I don't know, like I'm on GameFAQs and it's just like telling me how to get through it. But like you go in there for the first time and there's so many walls, like there's these stone walls that say all sorts of things. There's really only the one at the end that actually like tells you it's like, here's how you progress in the puzzle. And the other ones are like stories. They like describe the golems and stuff. And they make you feel like, especially when I was a kid, like, what did I just stumble into? Like, what did I just find? Like, beyond like, okay, like, and like I knew it was like my friends, this is elementary school, and my friend, he really held all the marbles because his mom had printed him off the GameFAQs guide, and he was like only giving it to people at school. He's like, I could show you how to solve the puzzle, but I guess you're gonna have to like curry my favor in some way. And we're like, oh my gosh, John, come on. But inside, like when I eventually am using it, but it's still like, what is this when I got there? Because it's like the paper guide is not going to show you those feelings. And I think nowadays I have a very weird like color to my like experience and like preference with spoilers with stuff, because like I really don't care if someone spoils like a story for me. And it's because like I just know because of how people communicate. Like someone might be able to prove me wrong someday, is like, you will never be able to take the emotion of seeing it from me the first time. Like a good surprise is like, yeah, like, oh, that was shocking. Like that was a shock that surprised me. But like I read the GameFAQs guide in its entirety and I was like glued to it while I was riding home. It's still like no words could prepare me for the emotional experience that was evoked by actually being there, because it's a complete atmosphere that happens, and so much of that is because of the music, is a result of the music. Like seeing it is one thing, but oh my gosh, and then it just, I don't know, when it becomes like a whole scene, when it's a stage and everyone is playing their roles, like no one could prepare me for what I just saw.
I totally agree. It all comes together. I think even like listening to it, like if you didn't grow up, like if you didn't grow up with, you know, Ruby Sapphire Emerald, or you didn't play it as a kid and have this weird revelation of like, okay, I'll put these two random Pokemon at the start and the back of my party, and I'll dive in this one spot and there's Braille written, and like, I don't know, it feels like to get the full effect of the song, you have to just like be a part of that. You have to go through the motions for it to like work.
You got to be there, folks. You got to go there. Visit the sealed chamber.
Go buy your $300 copy of Emerald and report back.
Go buy it right now. You're not going to want to miss this.
All right, we're down to the last two here. What's the next one you got for me? Okay.
Oh, this is tough because I'm trying to make my last one like my actual favorite song in Pokemon. Okay. This is the Boutique from X and Y. Just a classic.
It really is. So I have a little composer corner for us today. Our episode's composer corner is a wonderful fella by the name of Shota Kageyama. So he was a Japanese composer born August 26th in 1982. He started as a composer for a sound studio that I can't quite pronounce. It's like Procyon. But he worked on the soundtrack of Luminous Arc, a game called Luminous Arc, and he worked a bit on Smash Bros. Brawl. He worked as an arranger for like 4 of the songs on Brawl. And then around 2008 and 2009, he started working for Game Freak. So this is when his reign of terror began. He started on Heart Gold and Soul Silver. He was the arranger for a lot of the songs, obviously, and then composed some of the new ones. So like, for instance, the Dance of Ekritique, Ho-Oh appears and Lugia appears. And he also did all of the Pokeathlon songs. So all the new stuff.
Those are great.
You don't even know the half of it. So he also worked on the Pokewalker music. In an interview, he mentioned that it was just like a rearrangement of the Game Boy printer music with like a new melody, and he added the piano accompaniment. And he also did a lot of the music that was remade with like the Game Boy sound, you know that key item to change everything. And so he composed like the Pokeathlon music, and then like demade them for the Game Boy. That was like his job for a lot of them.
What an artist! Oh my gosh!
So then
that's amazing.
From Heart Gold and Soul Silver moves on to Black and White. He's now a composer and an arranger. He composed like, I have to, like, reading through the credits, it looks like 90% of the soundtrack.
Wow.
Just to name a few: Nimbasa City, Unwavering Heart. It's all this guy. He wrote everything. And he's the visionary behind what he called in an interview playing with sound. So that whole thing in X and Y, in Black and White, when you walk and the drums play to like the rhythm of your guy walking, that's him. He was like, I have this great idea, guys.
Oh my gosh. That is a great idea.
It really is. Like all that fun stuff with like adding the instruments as you like walk around, and that's all him. He called it playing with sound. So then again, Black and White, obviously we've seen like his true colors. We've seen what he's able to do. And then that brings us to now, where he worked on, or this song specifically, where he worked on X and Y. He's credited again as a composer and arranger on much of the soundtrack, including, Boutique. He did the Kalos region theme, Sycamore's theme, which, I mean, come on, insane.
That's good.
So then he also did a bit of music for Pokemon Origins. So then in 2014, he announced that he had left Game Freak to work as an independent composer. But even then, like, he kept a good relationship. He kept working with him. He did a lot of work on Oras, did a lot of work on Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. He did a couple songs for Pokken Tournament, not the one we were talking about earlier, unfortunately, but he did do a few. He did some music for Masters EX. He did the Battle Sync pair music. And then he came back to compose the Battle, Pure Space, and Strange Place music for BDSP, which was like the Ramanas Park battle themes, which is cool. I think that's neat. I would have never thought, the guy who wrote Nimbasa City came back to write those, but fuck, he did. It's great. And then from what I could find, the most recent credit he has is he did the Raikou research event for Pokemon Sleep. That was his music as well. So this
fascinating,
insane. This guy's got one of the gnarliest careers I've seen, and like it was like I couldn't even believe. I was going back to all these songs and like, yep, there he is again. Like, yeah, he wrote Nimbasa City, he wrote Unwavering Heart, he wrote all this. He's insane. But yes, to come back to Boutique, by our good friend Shota Kageyama, what made you bring this one?
It's like nothing else I've ever heard before, and maybe just, I don't know, probably in some other game, but like when, what do I even say about this song? Like I can get down with it. Like I will dance to this song. Like this song is borderline club music. Like I would put it on. Maybe not for that long. Like maybe like a loop while people are walking in or something. But it is like, I mean, it plays when you walk into the clothing store. So like I think it kind of screams fashion for one. And it is wildly stylized I don't know, like a memory I had very close to hearing this song, and that like I very much associate with the vision of this song was I was in New York, and it was my first time in New York, and I was at an H&M this is just like a clothing store. And this H&M had 2 floors, and the second floor had a DJ at it for some reason, and he was DJing he was like, yeah, he was like playing club music for the whole H&M. It was just people like shopping, and he was doing the thing where he's got like the hand on one ear of the headphones, and the other one is not over the headphones, so he can like he's like he really looks full DJ,
Right.
and that's just like this song now of like, oh my gosh, there's like a DJ in this clothing store. Like this is so fashion. This is, I mean, I think what makes probably the entire song for me, I think it could live without it, but the record scratches that are in the song, I think are like so indicative of somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to the tiniest, most intricate, like atmospheric details of like, oh, we're going to the clothing store, like pop a disc on the spinner, like, yeah, real quick, like stuff like that. And it feels really good to try on clothes to this music. Like, it just is like, it's kind of like a feeling yourself song. Like I'm spinning the model around, I'm trying on different hats and shirts and bags, and like while this is playing, like, I don't know, something groovy, sort of groovy like this that is still like very, very pretty high energy, I think works super well for the function. And it was again, I think, speaking to like this guy's like just nuts capabilities as a composer and arranger, is like, you couldn't have done this before in a Pokemon game. Like fashion, this is new. Fashion is new, and like the experience of feeling of fashion, they're gonna kind of have to pave their way to make this happen. And I think this is one of the reasons, like a subtle reason why like it panned out, like because like it everything's got to be there. Everything, like for an experience to work, like you can't have anything missing. And it's like, yeah, it's about the clothes, of course, but like if you can make it feel good to put on clothes, you're set for life. Like if you can make it good to go to the changing room, then I don't think you're ever gonna have a problem again. And I would be curious to know if he also worked on the clothing store music from Gen 7 as well, because I think that song works almost just as well, but it's like a completely different style. And like they got lightning in a bottle with such an obscure, I don't know, an outing to have in a Pokemon game, but like it feels really cared for. It feels like oh, they thought this was important. Like that's like my ultimate takeaway of like, oh, this isn't Pokemon, but like they really cared about me having a good time when I went in here, and that means a lot.
I like two of the points you immediately hit, and it's like the first note I have is it embodies like cool and fashionable is what I have written here. It fits it perfectly. It's got those neat piano chords. It's very funky, you know, it kind of grooves. And that like bendy, the only word I have for it is bendy synth, but like that bendy synth line is like so indicative of X and Y. It like defines that X and Y sound. It's part of the sound font. He uses it everywhere. But yeah, like it's exactly like you said, like the Pokemon music in the older games, I like it. I got no problem with it. I think it's fun. It's fun little shopping music. But like this is like it's something else. It's something different, which is like exactly like you said, like clothing is new in the Pokemon universe, you know, like breaking news, you can wear new clothes now.
Whoa.
I know. And so it feels like they, you know, he put his all into this song. It feels like he was like stretching his muscles. He's like, all right, you know, check this out, guys. I got some cool stuff for you. You know, I know it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Check out these chords, man. It's sick. It's such a cool song. And like, yeah, because like I remember like the first time playing it, I didn't know like the name of the song. I didn't know it was called Boutique. But I remember like when I was younger, like seeing it in YouTube, be like Boutique X and Y. I was like, oh, what is this gonna sound like? It I don't know. It doesn't sound like Boutique to me. You know what I mean? It's just it's so funky. It's so cool. It really just defies my expectation of what the song should be for, you know, a French boutique. But man, it's so cool. That's all I can say about it. It's cool. It's a cool song.
I think that was a very apt comparison that I actually haven't made before with the Pokemon, because it's like, it is just fine. Like I'm not, Pokemon is good. Like it's good music, but like, I mean, a relationship ends up occurring where I'm just going to shop. Like I'm just like, it's like I'm running to the grocery store, but it's like the difference of like, I don't know. I guess for me, it's like I want to go to Target to be in a Target. I want to go to the grocery store to get flour and then go home as quickly as possible.
It's like convenience store music, you know? It's
which is good.
Store, yeah.
Because I want to be at this store. Like, they've got the big mirrors hung up. There's like the girls wearing the berets. Like, I want to be here because of what it feels like. I might not even buy anything. That's how good it is.
100%. Yeah, it's a great choice. I don't think I would have like listened to this one as much had it not been on the list, but I'm glad I came back to it. All right, we've come down to the last one. We've got 5. This is our 6th. What have you got for us?
Okay. This list wasn't ordered to begin with, but you've made me ruminate by asking on which one is next. Okay. I think this is my favorite song in all of Pokemon. You have a really interesting note on where you showed me your spreadsheet for it. This is the Blizzard Island medley from Explorers of Sky, Darkness and Time, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
I had not. Okay, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say I haven't heard this song, because I think by definition, the way this song is built is like you're supposed to have heard it. But like I had when I saw it on the list, I was like, oh, like this is what an interesting pick, because I hadn't played much of Sky, especially recently. But like coming back and listening to it, I was like just blown away. I was like, I know all these songs, and they put it in one.
Exactly.
Like, it's amazing.
Exactly.
And because of that, it's got a bunch of composers. I've got Arata Iyoshi, Hideki Sakimoto, Kaisuke Ito, Kenichi Saito, and Yoshihiro Maeda. But what's the story behind this one?
I mean, I think, and I hate to like take this away from somebody, but like this is a song that like if you realize what the song is doing on your own, like without having someone tell it to you, it's life-changing. Like, and that was like how I got to experience it, of like, wait a minute, I know that kind of like that sounds familiar. What's going on this song? I don't really know what the relationship is, but so this is a song that plays at Blizzard Island, which is a post-game dungeon in the Gen 4 Mystery Dungeon games. But for whatever reason, and I guess I have like some ideas, they're like, if they feel like grasping at straws, but for whatever reason, this is a medley of 4 big songs from Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue that have been like sort of retooled slightly. The sound fonts aren't too dissimilar, but they are flowed into each other really well, and I think they've got like some, I don't know, maybe like a bit of accessorizing that wasn't present in the original instances. I think they're a bit smoother this time around. And the 4 songs though, I feel like very carefully picked, because I saw somebody like, it was like a very classic did you know Reddit post type thing of somebody like, it's like there's 4 songs in here, and I think these 4 songs are supposed to be indicative of like the 4 biggest moments on the Mystery Dungeon Blue and Red journey. These are like the 4 big capstones of you going on an adventure. And I think it's like the first one is Thunderwave Cave, which is like one of the component songs, and that's like your first mission that you go on. Is this right so far?
It starts with Mount Freeze. It actually ends with Thunderwave Cave.
It starts with Mount Freeze? That's
it goes
that's
Mount Freeze, Sky Tower, Mount Thunder, Thunderwave Cave.
That order is inexplicable to me. I mean, that still makes sense as like the 4 biggest moments on your journey, because like Thunderwave Cave is like your first mission. Mount Thunder is like, I guess, your first real mission. Right. And Mount Freeze is like the end of the first climax of the game. You have just you were clearing your name and perhaps even fighting Team Alakazam on Mount Freeze and dealing with Ninetales, and then the end of the game, the game's boss is fought at Sky Tower. Right. It's fascinating that Thunderwave Cave comes last on that.
I can kind of see it as being like, it's the Mount Freeze into Sky Tower into Mount Thunder is a little iffy. I mean, for all we know, it could have just been it flowed the best, but the 4th song being Thunderwave Cave almost feels like coming home. You know what I mean? Wow. It's like I think well played. Like of those 4, like I know Sky Tower really well. Obviously, Sky Tower's got a great theme, but like Thunderwave Cave hits my brain in a way I can't quite describe, because Blue Rescue Team's very special to me. It was, besides being besides the mainline games, I ended up getting Pearl and Platinum in 2008, but before that, my friend let me borrow Blue Rescue Team because he was too busy playing Diamond and Pearl. And so it was my first like Pokemon game, especially on the DS. And like that music is like burned into my brain. Any song I hear from that, like these neurons in my brain fire off because it's got this really weird, this connection. But like when I heard this for the first time, because I looked at it and I was like, 8 minutes. This is an 8-minute song. I was like, oh my God. But like, yeah, like I was like, oh, I know this one. And I was like, oh, okay, that's Sky Tower. But like Thunderwave Cave being the fourth one, like I said, it feels like coming home. It's like, yes, like I remember this one. Like, how could you forget? It's Thunderwave Cave. It's the first like dungeon you go into. It's got a really memorable little track. It's very like impish, mysterious little song,
Yeah, it's not anything ridiculous, but like I'm drawn to it every time. Of like it's got some movement for me. A head bob is certainly in order listening to Thunderwave Cave.
Absolutely.
I really like that angle of going home for something that is otherwise inexplicable, but it is like important to me. I think that it is important to me, like consuming them all as one like this, because there's almost like a Blizzard Island sound font that like kind of like, I mean, it's true to Mystery Dungeon, Gen 4, like Explorers of Darkness, Sky Time, but like I really feel like the Blizzard Island version adds something that is like, first of all, special for what Blizzard Island is doing, because it's like it's not really in the grand scheme. You're in the post game at this point, and you're not really doing anything that's that ridiculous. Like, you are there to bust out the famous adventurer Scizor, who you don't even know before this point,
right.
Or that might not even be, you might not even get told that when that's ultimately what happens. But I don't. It's very nonchalant. Like it's kind of just like almost a story beat for story beats' sake.
Right.
And it can feel like that going into it. And then you beat the bad guy and Scizor's behind him in like a big ice block, and you bust him out, and he's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna make you, you're a great adventurer. I'm gonna make you a secret explorer or something like that. He gives you a little like asterisk next to your badge.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's in hindsight, but like I like return to it, and then I like remember the journey, which is very much tied to the song of like, that was actually a really big deal. Like that was actually like a memory encapsulating event, because like you're a big enough deal now to be like, you're saving the savers. Like you just rescue teamed another rescue team. Like Scizor is one of the, presumably, even though he's like been there for like a long amount of time, so he's been like flash frozen or something. It's like you just rescue teamed one of the big dogs. Like you're the big dog now.
Yeah.
And what better moment in hindsight is like this journey of journeys that the song takes you through. And it's like, adventure, I don't think it's good enough for this song. This song is like the feeling of an odyssey, because if you remember those songs, especially like if it occurs to you when you're playing it, like I don't know, it's like the I wish I had like a better word for this. It's like, I don't know, like the mindscape opens up, and it's like Itachi putting Kakashi inside of like the infinite mind space, where like you live 1,000 years in a single moment. You flash back to your journey through Thunderwave Cave. You flash back to your journey up Sky Tower and back. Your life in Blue Rescue Team flashes before your eyes as you make this climb, and you get to think, look how far I've come. As like an odyssey is really like the only word I have for it. Like it's both one adventure and 4 or 5 even adventures in one, depending on how you look at it. But it's like, I don't know, I listen to it, and it's almost like I love the looking back angle so much, because it's like I'm like I've got like my legs dangling off of a mountain that I just climbed, and I'm thinking about it when I listen to that song. And it's like, look at the world, like look where I've been, look at this world behind me. Only who knows where we could go now. And I've got this song kind of juicing up that feeling.
What I'm really interested about is like, I shouldn't say it feels like randomly placed. I know it's a post-game dungeon, but like, like you said, it's like nonchalant. Like they just drop this on you.
Yeah.
You don't go into it expecting like some huge moment or anything. You just, you're tossed into this dungeon and like you're reliving your past life in a game you played a couple years ago or however long ago. But yeah, it's I think it's really special. It's cool to see them bring back, like, I know they're 4 of like the most important story beats, but they're also 4 of like some of the best songs in that game, I think.
Oh yeah.
Some of the most memorable.
I love Sky Tower. I think Sky Tower is like one of the... Sky Tower almost made the list, and that was what made me think of this. I was like, I'm always listening to Sky Tower.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but if I'm listening to Sky Tower, let's just listen to Blizzard Island.
Yeah, exactly. The sound font for Mystery Dungeon is so special too. Like all the swelling like chords. It's like, it's real ear candy. When you hear Mystery Dungeon music, you know it's Mystery Dungeon music. It's so
true.
It's composed in such a way that it's, it sounds like it's the sound font. It's everything comes together. And like you said, like they add a lot to these songs in an effort to make them flow like really nicely between one and the other. But it doesn't feel like they're added just for the sake of adding them and like creating that flow. Like everything is like lovingly placed. It's like you add a little, there's an extra melody line here, or there's an extra little beat here. But it's like perfect from Mount Freeze to Sky Tower to Mount Thunder, Thunderwave Cave. Like if you had never played Blue and Red Rescue Team, you would just think it's like 4 movements of a song. Like it just flows so nicely.
It works by itself.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's to the player who knows, because like, yeah, it works by itself. It's just like, what an interesting song. It has 4 movements on this sort of random dungeon. But when I play it now, especially, I almost feel like, especially if I'm just like tearing through a Mystery Dungeon game, because it's like, this sort of, it's not necessarily awkward, but like, I feel like there's, especially in like Explorers of Sky, there are several like points that are pretty easy to get stuck on, even if you're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. But like at this part, like I feel like I'm flying through the game in this section that Blizzard Island's in, because it's like everything's pretty nonchalant. The bosses are like simple. They don't like force you to only have you and your partner. Like you can bring, I think, 2 other people to Blizzard. You might have to do Blizzard Island by yourself, but it's not that bad. It's a very conventional dungeon, and if you have or are a fire type, you probably will just wipe it out. And like,
right.
This part of the game, I feel like I'm always speeding through. And then when this music hits, it's almost like a reminder to take a breath of like, it's like there is like breath in this song of like, not necessarily to calm down, because it's like, I think this is like one of the best parts of the game, because you're like really like living it up as like a fully licensed adventurer now, because you graduated from the guild. But it's like, I don't know, like it's reminding me to smell the roses and just like to ruminate even of like, look where you've been. Look where you've been. This is like, remember your triumphs. Don't forget what it took to get here.
Yeah, like remember when you checked every single floor of Thunderwave Cave because you didn't know how the game worked? Remember when you got your ass beat twice in Sky Tower because the level curve is insane? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you brought this one. I think it's I don't know. I don't think, again, it's one of those things that I probably would have heard elsewhere, but it's why I love doing this podcast. It's like I get to revisit songs I love in like all these different forms and then get to hear why other people like them. And like how the similarities, the differences, like I've come to appreciate all this music so much more. So I'm really glad you brought this one. I think this is very nice. It's a very nice song. But that's your 6.
I love it.
What a spread. That's a really great spread of songs. I like that a lot. I know you kind of said that was already your favorite of the 6. If I had to personally choose one, man, I was gonna say Sealed Chamber, but I feel like our talk about Blizzard Island has changed my mind. Like it's nice. I don't know.
Yes.
It is really special. Like I said, I have such a soft spot for Mystery Dungeon, particularly because it was like, that was, it was my first Pokemon game. And I remember staying up super late, not understanding how like the friendship mechanic worked. And I just kept beating Groudon like over and over. And I was like, why won't he join the party? Like, I don't think I'd beat the game, so I don't think I could get him. But like, I don't know, just like memories of that, Magma Crater and all those little songs. But yeah, Blizzard Island, I think if I had to choose one, of your 6, I think that's gotta be my pick.
Nice.
It's a great
I got
one.
you there. Let's go.
You did. I was convinced. I was moved by our conversation.
any song that like, I mean, not just exclusively, but Pokemon's got plenty of them, but just like, I'm like the thing that I like, I guess, yearn for the most is like, especially an instrumental song, because like I do the thinking, I suppose. Not that it's bad when they have words, but like when there's like, I don't know, almost feels like a lifetime inside of the song of like this Odyssey like feeling. There are certain like songs from Sonic and Zelda that do the same thing for me, where it's like if I like just like close my eyes and like just start to like dream while I'm listening, it's like I don't know, an entire different life that I like never lived or like only simulated like flashes before me. And that's the power of music for me. Like that's like, I don't know, the peak listening experience is when like I live in Odyssey in just a moment, in just a couple minutes. I guess 8 minutes in this case, but like I
think it loops
multiple lifetimes.
We'll call it 4 minutes.
In 4 minutes, I've lived multiple lifetimes. That was unbelievable. Wow. Music is crazy.
What I love about like writing music and listening to it and, you know, absorbing it from other people is like, it's the only way, it's the only like tangible way you can feel how someone else felt at a certain time. You know what I mean?
So well put. Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can have a great day and you write a great song, and then, you know, you show it to someone and they get that vibe. And I don't know, I've done stuff like that too. You know, I have a bad day and I don't like record music that often. I just have like a bunch of like riffs sitting on my phone, but I can go back and like, you know, I have a bad day and I write something and it sits in my phone for a month, and then I come back to it and it's like immediately I remember, I'm like, okay, this is what happened that day. This is what I wrote. And then, you know, coming back to it later, it's so new to me. But yeah, I think that's the beauty of music, and I think it kind of flows nicely into your point. Like, yeah, you get to feel what someone else felt, and even if it's a fictional character, like that's why these guys get paid the big bucks, man. They can write these beautiful compositions for characters that don't even exist. Specifically, oh my god, who was it? Shota Kageyama. In one of the interviews, he specifically talks about I don't know what song he was talking about because he said he didn't want to spoil it. But it was one of the piano themes at the end of Black and White 2. And oh my god, I'm so glad you brought this up. He specifically wrote it while reading the script out loud. Like he read the script that they had written for this like final section of Black and White 2, and he just played the piano as he said it out loud, because that's exactly what he's doing, right? You have to form this feeling. You have to get in like the mindset, and like I don't know. That's why Pokemon is such a special.
That is really special.
A special series, yeah. They're building these soundscapes for you, and then, you know, a snotty 10-year-old turns the volume off on their DS, and it's gone. You lose that whole aspect. But I don't know. Yeah, music's real special. It's real special. All right, Droomish, thank you so much for joining me. This was a great talk.
So happy to. This is lovely.
Please plug, you know, any and all projects you got going on, any of your channels. You know, where can people find you? What have you got going on?
Come to my YouTube channel of Droomish. We're trying to get to, I'm trying to get to 100,000 before the end of the year. That'll be nice. That'll be fun. I think I made pretty good videos. If you were interested in this enough to be listening to me now, then I think you might like the videos that I make. I just have a hunch.
Yeah, if you sat down and listened to this and you said, "Wow, these two young people here are quite well spoken," that Droomish's channel is the place to be. That's 100% one of my favorite channels. I love your stuff. I really liked the I know it's not brand new, but relatively recent. I really liked that fishing video you did. I won't say anything more about it. You know, maybe people got to go watch it.
Please do. It was a labor of love.
Alrighty, thanks for joining me, Droomish.